Trimancy, Divination by Threes, by Reverend Esner. lifespirit.org/trimancy.html. Zemamer Shuryat. No sign is what it symbolizes, yet meanings in what it is not. Divination is the ancient art of ascertaining potential future states from a sampling of the current situation. The Neolithic shaman's random rolling of the knuckle bones, for example, resulted in a unique sign that stands in a relationship to the future state of the one who offers the question. We question the future, and the divine responds through a random configuration in the present. During the time of my active ministry in Life Spirit Congregational Church, I've had a great interest in traditional divinatory methods, starting with the I Ching in the 1970s. During the last 2 decades of the 20th century, I publicly practiced divination, most often at the holistic fairs then held yearly in Morris County, coordinated by Life Spirit ministers Nancy Orlin Weber and Dick Weber, Lightwing Center. The method I used during that period was divination through the Nordic runes, the Elder Futhark. Reading various works by and about Jung and others helped me understand the power of the runes in future casting. It was from Jung's teachings about synchronicity that I developed my understanding of the nexus between the random fall of the cards, or runes, or bones, or yarrow sticks, or whatever, and the current energetic configuration regarding the question at hand. It doesn't really matter what method is used so long as the element of randomness prevails. In recent years, I've made use of a website, www.facade.com, which provides random readings in a half a dozen modalities, including the tarot, I Ching, and runes. Sharing computer screens with the subject of the reading, we explore the potential meanings of whichever method is chosen. Among the more interesting sessions are those in which the same question is posed through several of the methods. This type of comparing data is similar to the method Major General Bert Stubblebine, U.S. Army retired, co-trustee with me at Natural Solutions Foundation, had developed to verify the information his remote viewers were showing him. He'd have several viewers target the same coordinates and then extract the common information from all. Yes, divination is a type of remote viewing. Take a look at General Bert's presentation, which is linked to on the screen. While I love using traditional divination methods, they've come to seem to me to be limited by the inherent duality of the methodologies. Many years ago, I read an article in Scientific American about logic systems. The two-value system of true and false was compared to the three-value system, true, indeterminate, or maybe, and false. In the first, everything must be either true or false. In the second, there are over a half a dozen possibilities, a wider universe of possibilities. Take a look at the chart on the screen. This is an example of what our friend and frequent house guest from the 1980s, Robert Anton Wilson, called maybe logic. We live in a universe which is indeterminate. Thus, a better system of divination would take into account those questions which can be neither true nor false, or both true and false, thus indeterminate. Indeterminacy is at the very heart of modern understanding of the physical nature of the universe. The random processes at the quantum level are driven by it. The very idea of the quantum, the minimum possible quantity, gives rise to a grainy reality in which no exactitude exists. True and false are, at base, illusions. All is maybe. Such musings led me to seek a way of divining that took into account the tripartite nature of veracity. How to bring indeterminacy into the equation. How to discover a three-valued divinatory system. The coming into being of readily accessible pseudo-random number generators with the development of personal computing allowed me to consider how a system of trimancy, divination by threes, might look. Using random number generators, it is possible to mimic any divinatory system, or, as is done in Trimancy, extend the possibilities. I copied and modified some simple HTML code that generates various random numbers within certain ranges. This gave me the capacity of creating a series of random words that write themselves into a trimantic sentence. The words are grouped into threes in various ways, either true, false, or indeterminate. Each indeterminate term is then further processed by refreshing the screen, generating further words for the trimantic sentence, in order until there are no further indeterminate terms. The resulting sentence is interpreted. The trimantic words are tri-letter root terms in a made-up, or perhaps more correctly, channeled language. The coding has been embedded with use instructions and with the three lists of trimantic words. This is all posted here at www.lifespirit.org/trimancy.html. When this page is open, a series of 6 numbers is randomly generated. The next step is the subjective art of interpretation. Roll the dice of random connections and let us know how you experience Trimancy, divination by threes. There is also our Trimancy Facebook page, which we ask you to like. By the way, backstory. Every divinatory method has a backstory. Ultimately, though, the source of divination is the divine. In the case of Trimancy, your humble scribe discovered the method and discovered the backstory, the shaman's song. You can delve into that at the link on the screen, shamansong.weebly.com. Since Trimancy is divination by threes, it recognizes the truth aspects, yes, no, and indeterminate. They are the foci of the method. This is used extensively by the cultures which developed on Zomtate. Trimancy grew out of a spiritual project I began in the 1970s after reading Israel Regardie's Middle Pillar. It is part of the backstory for my personal spirit temple. Trimancy is an essential aspect of the interaction between the spirit temple, the great crystal tower, and this world of space-time limitation. There are 3 terms to start with. There is the word for yes, which is kadyup. There is the word for indeterminate, which is muse. And there's the word for no, which is nup. The sacred language, with its emphasis on letter triplets with synchronistic relationships, naturally gives rise to divination by threes. The usual procedure is to write the words in order, as received, with a plus for positive, a minus for negative, and a slash for indeterminate. At any point where a 0 or 10 is generated, it should be so noted, as the process stops at zeros. All the indeterminacies are put down in order, creating a trimantic sentence, or haiku. If the point is indeterminate, additional steps are required. You basically refresh the page and begin to structure, step by step, indeterminacy by indeterminacy, the meaning of the trimantic divinatory aspects. Go to it with belief in the efficacy of divination. Experiment with the understanding of divination by threes. And I believe you will find something very interesting indeed. Thank you. This has been Reverend Esner for Life Spirit Congregational Church, www.lifespirit.org. And many blessings to all.